And that particular topic there was our biggest winner, because people procrastinate again and they just don't know what to pick. They're looking for that perfect product that doesn't exist.
Hey there, this is Neil Napier from MyFirst1000 podcast, and welcome to today's session. Today I've got Paul Adams with me, and Paul is running a lot of different businesses. In fact, this year he tells me he is crazy busy, but he's still finding time for his membership sites. In fact, he's outsourcing it pretty cleverly to other people so he can focus on other aspects of his business. So Paul, really happy to have you on this session with us today.
It's a pleasure, Neil. Thank you for having me.
Great. So Paul, can you tell me a little bit about your business, just so people listening and have an understanding of what you do?
Yeah, sure. No problems. Well, initially the core business is all about teaching people how to start a business selling physical products on Amazon. And these days it's a little bit more different than it was when we first started. I first started selling on Amazon probably about 4 years ago now. And I always say that knowledge is something that you gain from other people. So it's always good to get a mentor, which I'd done at the time. And that was really the leg up. And over the period of time, I met a guy called Rob Fortney, who we'll talk about sort of shortly. And together we decided, you know what, we've got a little bit of knowledge here, and we started to sort of create a Facebook group, and people started to ask us questions that had zero idea. In other words, they wanted to start a business, but they had no idea. And it was our mentality, or our thought process, not necessarily to become like the biggest membership in the world, but to become a very boutique style training course, as opposed to what was our focus was to try and get people started, get the leg up, get a foot in the door. And that was what our focus, and that has remained our focus for our membership. And we've been running now, the membership has basically been running for a few years now, and quite successfully.
Good. I mean, it sounds like you're doing a similar thing like how we are doing MyFirst1000 with membership sites. You're doing, in a way, a newbie to successful kind of course for people who want to get started with Amazon, with physical products. So I think we're serving similar set of people with just different angles, I would say.
Yeah, slightly different target market, but it's the same principle, really. It's getting that leg up. It's offering those first few steps into the business. Once you get those first few steps in, then there's so many different other avenues that you can follow, depending on what you want to follow, obviously.
True. Now, you did mention about Rob, and I would like to bring him up because it's interesting. You've been our customer for a long time now, I think. I remember many years you've been there and you've been communicating with me, but I'll be honest, I didn't talk to you as much as I could have, just because, there are a lot of other people I deal with. But I was traveling to Chiang Mai a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I think it was now. And you told me to, actually last year we went for our extended honeymoon with the wife. And you suggested to me that I should go meet Rob because he's a top guy. And I was really in two minds, like, I'll be with my wife. Do I really have time to meet him? And Rob and I went back and forth, and we agreed on time to meet him. And I have to say, he was an amazing guy. I mean, I'm really thankful to you for introducing me to him, because just one talk with him for that evening just opened up my mind on how he perceived giving value to people. And, we talked about the membership side as well. And he had these grand visions as well. And I kind of want you to tell basically what happened from there and how your business is at the moment without him.
Well, sure. I did mention to you that it would be a good idea to meet up with Rob, and I pushed Rob to, Neil's coming to Chiang Mai. It'd be really good to meet up, because we've been I think we were one of your first 100 customers signed up. Yeah. So like you said, we've been with you for a long time now. And I thought that would be a good idea. And Rob come back, yeah, I spoke with Neil, and he was a really good guy, and hopefully we can like get on a webinar and do stuff and everything like this. Well, it was very unfortunate that it was the beginning of this year. It was January the 6th. Well, I'll just go back for a few because Rob was very, very giving. Okay, he was one of those people that when he moved to Chiang Mai, he said to me, "You know what, Paul? I want to extend what we're doing now, but I want to do it for free. I want to teach people within my community the opportunity that there's a business out there that they can get into without too much capital requirement, because a lot of those people living in Chiang Mai are digital nomads."
Mm-hmm.
And they're just moving around. So it was his vision, and he done a really, really good job at this. He built a fantastic community, and it's still going over there now, where he had a weekly meetup teaching people how to start a business or talking about various different aspects of the Amazon business and an FBA and stuff like this. And one of the projects that we took on and started was a charity product. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he'd done, he went up to the mountains a couple of times. And I remember one of the Christmases, he said, you know what, I'm going to go up to the mountain tribe up there and spend my Christmas up there with the mountain people, with these tribal people. I thought, that's really good. And he came back, he said, you know what, that opened my mind so much. I'd never experienced anything like it. All of these kids running around, and he went up there with gifts, probably about $1,000 worth of gifts or something like this. And that was like unbelievable to them. And he said, you know what, we should do a charity product because these kids haven't got pencils or books or anything like that to go to school. And I want to be able to provide something for them. So we picked a product, and it was a group community aspect in Chiang Mai. And we picked a product and we put it up on Amazon, and it was just, everybody put $100 in, that's all. And we sold out of the product really quickly. And we raised about $1,500, something like this. So, and this was last Christmas. Okay, 2017 Christmas. We got the funds in place, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go up there for Christmas. Well, he put that off, and he said, I'm going to go up there in the new year. So he actually hired a motorbike and took it up there. And I spoke to him on January the 2nd, and he said, this is like unbelievable. You should see the faces on these kids. It's like a brand new world to them. It's like they just couldn't believe what happened to them. You know, it's like winning the lottery. It was just $1,500, but to them it was everything. And this was the type of guy that Rob was through and through. Such a giving type of person. He would give the extra mile to anybody he met. Well, it was very unfortunate because during that journey back down to Chiang Mai, he did have an accident, and it was a fatal accident, and he passed away on January the 6th. And that really threw me. Because, you know, our last conversation was how much we are going to do this year and the plans and the mindset. And Rob was a very, very clever guy. He was a very vocal guy. He was the artistic side of the business. I'm the back end technical guy, you know. So, you know, the business has missed out from that point of view. You know, Rob was definitely the face of the business. But, you know, it was one of those things where we have been building up this community, and I promised myself that, you know, I owe it to the people within the group as well as to Rob that I need to carry this on. You know, we've got a legacy now that we need to carry this business on. And, you know, we had a weekly call. I'm still doing the weekly calls and everything like that. So that's all pretty good. So things are still carrying on. We just haven't got the front end of Rob. You know, I do mention Rob quite a lot within our talks, you know, and various different things. And we've had a number of live events. We had a couple of live events in Chiang Mai at the beginning of the year, one at the Nomad Summit, and I had another probably in March. I went back over there probably. We had a workshop over there. And again, everything's dedicated to Rob because he put so much of his life into Chiang Mai and into that community. But from a business point of view, from the membership point of view, we are still moving forward and we're still strong.
And you're still keeping that vision strong about giving a ton of value to people who join your membership site.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you talked about sort of how we set up, and one of the things that we've got a number of different Facebook groups, and Rob set up. We've got a Chiang Mai dedicated FBA Facebook group. We've got Pro FBA. We got various different Facebook groups, and that's how we first started the business, really. And we started to do webinars. We invited people along to listen to various different webinars that we were holding with software owners. For example, there's the big one out there, Jungle Scout. Everybody knows Jungle Scout. So we forged a very good relationship with Greg Mercer, the owner of Jungle Scout. We've had him on a number of webinars, and people are interested in that particular software. So therefore, they listen to us and join our webinar. And because to do that, that is a very good way to build up a list. Now, you need to build your list in order for people, so you can go out and market people, and that's one of the ways that we initially started our business. Yeah, holding webinars, building the lists, so we can actually go back and say, you know what, if you want to become, or if you want access to this, here's our link. And by the way, it's an affiliate link, so we're fully open with everything. But that's how we started. And then we thought, you know what, it'd be a good idea to start this membership. And people procrastinate, Neil. You've seen this, and you must have probably experienced it yourself. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. The website's got to be perfect. And we spent ages doing this. And I can remember night after night after night, me and Rob going through, no, we've got 3 or 4 pages. How are we going to do this? How are we going to? You know what? Just get it done. Just do it. Just launch it. Yeah, that is by far the best way. Just like, okay, we've got enough information on now. It's going to work. Just launch it. We can tweak it later on. And that's what we've done. And that has been our mindset from day one. Just do it. Just launch. Just do it. Just take action. And that's how we've managed to move forward.
I still have days, you're quite right. I mean, I still have days sometimes where I feel like I can do this better and then open it to the world. But then I realize that there's an opportunity cost to that as well, that anytime I'm keeping this just to myself, number one, I'm not making money. Number two, I'm not helping anyone. Just the idea that I will only release it when it's perfect delays action, delays results. And I think you make a very good point. Again, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. So that applies here too. And it's interesting you talked about the webinars and celebrities like, the Jungle Scout owner, because that was going to be my next question. How did you build a tribe originally? And I think your idea of value first, again, which again shows from everything we've talked about, where you get influencers in, you do workshops, you do webinars, and you give people a lot of value. And that's why they stick with you. I think it's an amazing frame to follow. So anyone listening to this right now, if you're thinking about going into new market, or trying to get a foothold into your current market, find the big mammoth, the big elephant that you have in there, get them on an interview with you, turn it into a podcast or a YouTube video, and build your tribe like that. I think it's a really good strategy there, Paul. I like it.
Yeah, well, again, we were not experts in this, and we were learning as we were going. But the key thing is to take action early, and it doesn't matter if you fail. As long as you fail forward, it's fine. Yeah, because you learn from your mistakes, and you think, you know what, I'm going to do that again and again and again, and all of a sudden it clicks and it starts to work. So never be afraid of taking action and moving forward. Even if you're failing at the time, and we've failed a number of different times. Tell me,
I like it. I like that advice. Now let's talk about courses and membership sites. So how quickly did you make your first $1,000 with membership sites? Was it instant? Did it take you a month or a few months?
Well, again, we built the membership, and I spent quite a bit of time going through the training, because you've got to make the videos, obviously, and that takes time. So I should be honest with you, it probably took us about two and a half, maybe probably 3 months to get all of the content ready. We went from, I know nothing about this particular industry, this business. Where do I start? Right through to advanced advertising inside Amazon itself. So the content was quite a lot, and there's quite a few modules in there. So once the content was done, we thought, you know what, now it's time to start. How do we do it? How do we launch this? How do we make our first dollar through this membership? And again, what we've done is reverted back to what we knew with our affiliate stuff. We held a webinar. Okay. if you're interested in starting selling products on Amazon, we've got the solution for you. Whatever it was, it's like you need a decent tagline, obviously, or a decent email. And we were lucky because we had built that list previously via our affiliate webinars. Okay. So we held our first webinar, and I tell you, it was a disaster. Yeah, the internet was like on and off. My connection was bad. But it was the first one we'd done. It was all the way through, but we got through it. And at the end of the day, back then we were selling the course for $495, I believe it was, per sign up. So therefore, we only needed two and a bit people to make that first 1,000.
Sure.
After the first webinar that we'd done, we had 15 people sign up. And that was our first aha moment, That was our first aha moment. So it took 3 months to get our content ready and 1 day to score that first 1,000.
So I just want to put things in perspective.
And that was a real good feeling. It really was. Sorry, say again.
No, I just want to put this into perspective here for anyone listening in. So it took you 3 months to do something, and they talk about overnight results. You did one webinar, which by your own admission wasn't that good, and there were a lot of things that could have been done better. But you still came out $7,500 stronger from it, and knowing that that's a concept people like, and that's something you can continue to sell from there on. And have you been selling it from there on? Have you been selling it to people?
Yes. Yeah. We had someone sign up last week. And a lot of this is, now the next step is once you start, because we thought, this is good, but we can't do one every week, obviously. So what we would do is we'll hold a webinar probably once every 3 months. And that's what we've done for a while. And every time we've done a webinar, we changed the emphasis on the subject slightly, as opposed to, do you want to start your business? Yeah, maybe there's a few people out there that have already started, but they don't really know how to pick a product properly. They're in the business, they've signed up for an Amazon account, but they're stuck on finding a product. And that particular topic there was our biggest winner, because people procrastinate again and they just don't know what to pick. They're looking for that perfect product that doesn't exist. And again, it's all about just taking action, moving forward, learning from your mistakes. And and once we'd done our second webinar, third webinar, fourth webinar, all of a sudden we were hitting that bigger numbers. So which is good. But ultimately, what we've done is, again, back to giving free information and value to people. We started to put all of our recordings up on YouTube.
Wow.
Right. And Rob took hold of this. He took the bull by the horns, and he ran with this YouTube idea and started to build a community. And we put out weekly content, without fail, weekly content. He started to optimize the pages inside YouTube. And all of a sudden that started to explode. And we were getting people coming knocking on our doors without us doing anything. No webinars. It was just content, free content, out on YouTube, and people were coming up and signing up. We've got people signing up. We haven't done anything. This is great because it's out there and people saw the value in what we were doing. And we thought, you know what? These guys talk sense. They're talking plain English. I can understand what they're saying. They've got a course. I want to sign up.
Nice. So I think the 3 key takeaways I'm taking from this, and I'm taking notes as well because this is very useful. So partnership, value, and an irresistible offer that people just say, this is wow, and we have to get it. I think those are the 3 key ingredients that have worked really well for you in your membership business. Am I right?
That is correct. Yes. Hit the nail on the head.
Good. So I've got one more question for you. And again, if this is for the people who are interested in the numbers, if you can at all estimate, how much has this specific course done for you? How much has this membership site done for you till date in USD, if you have the number at hand?
I don't have the number at hand, but the last time I looked, it's got to be getting on for around $50,000. So,
Nice.
like I said, we never started out to be big guys in this
Sure.
business because we want to. And the other thing that we do now, and the reason why we don't want to become big or huge
Hmm.
or take on too many people, is because we take time one on one with people and walk through their problems. So anyone within the membership that's got the lifetime membership, they can Skype me, they can email me, they can message me however they want, and I shall drop what I'm doing and spend time with them. You know, and there's been a number of different occasions where people have said, "Paul, it's like I'm stuck. I've got my supplier in China. They're giving me problems. Can you help me?" You know, and I
Sure.
spend a couple of hours going through their problems, resolve their problems, and they're the happiest people in the world. You know, because they've got a solution straight away, as opposed to waiting. So that is another reason why we become more boutique as opposed to mainstream, and that's why
Sure.
we haven't maxed out, but you know, we haven't done the millions of dollars that
Sure.
some other courses out there have done. I know.
Yeah, I think again, it depends on what you're after, what your goal is. If your goal is to help people, to help them become financially independent, get results with what they want to do, 50,000 is not a bad amount because it pays your bills and it pays more than that.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. Um, Now I've got a quick fire round with some fun little questions for you, Paul. The very first
Sure.
question is, what's your favorite book?
What's my favorite book?
Mhm.
I must admit, it's at the moment it's a Russell Brunson book. What was it? His first one.
Expert Secrets or the other one?
.com.
The older one. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I've been going through that and going through it and going through it. I know it's like a competitor, sorry, but you know, it's
I mean,
funnels. You know, the funnel business doesn't change. Doesn't matter which platform it is. And we have gone Kyvio, and we are Kyvio through and through. So funnels are funnels, as far as I'm concerned.
true. And he's a good
So
teacher. I mean, hats off to him. He's a good teacher, good marketer. So no
yeah,
problems there.
it's all
Second
right.
question. What kind of music are you into? What's your favorite band these days?
When I first started, I'm an old guy now, so way back in the day, I was into Michael Jackson and all of that stuff. Then I moved to China, and I lived in China for 5 years. And all of the bars over there have got their own bands, and they're all Filipino, and they're absolutely fantastic singers, and they're all into rock. So at the moment, I mean, I find myself listening to AC/DC a lot at the moment.
Okay. Okay, it's an
So.
evergreen band, so that's good. Yeah. Okay, what about if you're traveling? Do you prefer to go to the city, the beach, or the mountains, or somewhere else?
It's a good question, depending on which country you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
I
What's
like
your
the
favorite?
city life,
Yeah.
but over here, yeah.
Mhm.
If I'm traveling for business, I tend to find myself in the city. Obviously, if it's on holiday, then I shall head down to the beach for sure.
And what's your favorite city in the world to travel to?
Ah, it's a toss up between Shanghai and Singapore,
Okay. Okay. I
but
have never been
just
to
just
Shanghai.
just recently, the family are telling me it's Chiang Mai.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, Paul, just to kind of round this up, I've got one question for you. Most people that are listening to this, that are watching this, they're worried that what they know might not be good enough. Do you have any motivational, inspirational words for them to get them to take action?
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I always thought to myself, you know what, I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that. You know, I'm a brilliant engineer. I was an engineering director. I know that subject inside out. Sourcing, I know that stuff. I don't know marketing. I can't build an online business because I don't know marketing. Guess what, guys? You know, like I said earlier, take action because you can always learn on the job. Yeah, move forward. Just take one step. Get yourself a mentor. The mentor is always somebody that knows a little bit more about it than you. One step ahead of you, that person can teach you and the stuff you don't know, basically just to get started. But don't be afraid of going down an avenue that you don't know, you know, because at the end of it, that small win will feel like you've climbed Everest. because you had no idea what you were talking about to start with, and all of a sudden you've made a small win. That small win could be your first single dollar through PayPal, yeah, from the actions you've taken. And that is, wow, I've made it. I've done it. I've actually taught myself something, and I've taken action on it. So never, ever be afraid to go down a dark alley, because there's always light at the end of it. And because you take that one step forward and you're learning all of the time. Each step forward is a learning curve. And sometimes it's a very steep learning curve, but don't be afraid to do it. Be determined to do something. If you're going to do something, I've been fortunate. I haven't actually been to work, for the last 12 years. I've been doing my own business, consultancy, whatever the case may be. And again, that was a scary prospect to start with. What do? I've decided I'm going to do this, but I need to make way. I need to make money in order to survive. And I've done that, and I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Never be afraid to take that first step into that dark alley, because at the end is a shiny, bright light, and it's great. It's great to get there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. That's very useful. One last thing, Paul, if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about you and your course, where can they go? Do you have a website address or something else you can share?
Yeah, sure. It's check us out on YouTube. It's Gorillas Online. The website is gorillasonline.com, and that's gorillas with a Z on the end. Okay, so gorillasonline.com. That's where the website. We've got a ton. There's seriously the website. There's a sales pitch, obviously, but there's a ton of free information on there. There's a mini course on how to get started with your business. Free. It's all yours. You can just download it, and away you go. You get full access. So there's a ton of information on there. On our YouTube channel, I think we've got about 300 different videos on there related to Amazon FBA. It's all for free. So it's all there.
That's awesome. Paul, I thank you very much for taking the time out to do this with us. I'm sure that this is going to help a lot of people in their business to get to first $1,000. So thank you.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. That's an absolute pleasure talking to you, Neil.
Cheers.